Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
So you know how Lecrae, he's really like he's one of the biggest artists that I know that features like secular artists, right? Just like you know how they say that you don't like y'all don't want avocado, but like you try to introduce them to something else. Doesn't that also like kind of counterproductive at the same time? Say like this dude name was 24 Hours was on one of Lecrae's songs. I looked him up, and he was straight trash. It was not something I would ever listen to because it was just like from being on a Christian rap song to being like then super secular, like money, drugs, women. You know, I was like, whoa. Like there was no like I listened to at least a good 5 songs to see if he was like in the like was it like what made Lecrae go there when it was like he wasn't even like a positive like rope like you know it's like a chance to rapper type. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to understand like what the question is. So are you saying there are certain artists we shouldn't collaborate with because the far majority of their content is like kind of debauchery? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah. Like can that still also be like counterproductive wise? Like say somebody like I like Lecrae and like I'm trying to get over to this place and like oh my goodness I like this I'm gonna go back over here now. Does like can that be counterproductive or?
It could be. Listen, I'll keep it a buck, man. Like I tend to be on the fringes of some of this stuff, right? So I'll give you a really good example. If you go to my YouTube page, like I got an interview with my homie who is an atheist comedian, ex-Christian rapper turned atheist comedian, right? That's one of my biggest videos on YouTube. Is me interviewing one of my really good friends who's an atheist who used to be a Christian rapper, now he's an atheist comedian. His name's Rufat. He's a good friend of mine. And somebody can use that very same argument against me. Why would you promote this atheist comedian? Why would you give him a platform on your channel? I went and checked out his other stuff. It's so vulgar. And it's like, yo, that's a valid point. But at the end of the day, if somebody watches that conversation, I'll give you a couple things that I attempt to do. One, I do attempt to be clear about my faith and direct about it. Two, I make it clear where they stand, right? I got an interview with China Mac, right? And the main video on my YouTube is me actually sharing the gospel with China Mac. And I did that interview with China Mac, and me and him are like really good friends now. Like we talk regularly. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird that I'm like good friends with China Mac. I don't know if you know what China Mac is, but I'll probably do a record with China Mac, right? Like me and China Mac will probably end up doing a record together at some point. And so you could use that same logic thing against me. I think the difference is it's pretty clear what the person is about out the gate, right? Like, you know, this is an atheist who like doesn't like God. Now, I will say there are interviews. I did an interview with Rufat where we were talking about the Kanye West Jesus is King and the choir, and he just has some kind of like really foul stuff about like the choir and just stuff that I was just like, yeah, like I'm just not putting this out. You're just being vulgar for the sake of being vulgar. Like there's not even a conversation that's fruitful in any way, shape, or form. I don't need this part of the conversation on my platform. So I have used discretion in that regard where if I feel like something is just vulgar for the sake of being vulgar, it's just disrespectful, I won't go with that. But I think there's a time and a place to collaborate, and I think hip hop is like intuitively collaborative. And I do feel like the artists I attempt to work with have some degree of like moral consciousness, right? So I feel like even though China Mac is like a hood artist, he does have a song called Pray. Like there is a degree of like he's a YouTuber. He's doing other stuff besides just like street music, right? So I don't know. I think you got to use your discretion in that. Again, I've done it. Like I have Wendy Day on my channel. Wendy Day cusses a grip in her interview, a lot of profanity. And you go to Wendy Day stuff, she's not a Christian. But if you're a Christian and you don't watch my Wendy Day interview and get edified and get encouraged as an artist, then you're just being religious at that point, right? So I say all that to say there are times where I believe a non-Christian can actually encourage Christians because they're speaking truthful principles that apply to everybody. You know what I mean?
Because I do know he had Ty Dolla $ign on one. Blessing, that was a good one. But 24 Hours, it was like day and night kind of. Because I know Ty Dolla $ign stand for stuff, but he also has like meaningful songs that you can bop to. And then when it went for 24 Hours, it's like, oh,
Yeah, and he has YK Osiris on stuff. He has a record. He has a couple records. Him and Andy, I think, got records with Marky Basie. I've done a show with Marky Basie. Cool dude, right? Like not a Christian. So I do feel you that there's degrees to it, right? There's certain degrees to it where like I'm not doing a record with Cardi B, right? I'm just not. Like I'm not doing a record with 6ix9ine. Like I have certain boundaries that I just couldn't cross. But if I meet Cardi B in the studio, we're chilling, everybody's hanging out, I find out she like actually has some faith in Jesus, and we start building a relationship, like that might change my perception of her. Like that might really change my perception of her, because at the end of the day, you also got to remember, and this is not meant to dismiss what you're saying, but hear me on this. A lot of secular artists, a lot of people in the world who are in entertainment, some of them, not all of them, but some of them legitimately view who they are in music as a persona and as like they're playing a character. So there's a difference between Daniel Hernandez and Tekashi 6ix9ine. There's a difference between Aubrey Graham and Drake, and they're legitimately like, that's how they view it. And you've heard people say this, like NWA, and NWA is a great example of this. Like NWA was like, yo, we are broadcasting this. It was I don't say gimmick, but it was like a character. Like it wasn't who they really were in real life. Like Dr. Dre, the artist, is not Andre Young, the person. They're different people, right? So there is a degree where people put on like a facade or a personality, and it's just different. It's just I wouldn't do art that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't do art that way. Like, I just don't. You get the real me. This is the same me. You're going to get on my music. You're going to get the same me if you come kick it with me and we go have California burritos. I'm going to be the same me. You know what I mean? Like, the same me. Sometimes I struggle with profanity. You might hear me slip up, say a cuss word on the channel. Yeah, I've heard it before. I'll say the S word. I'll say the A word, right? I might have it in real life, right? And I'm trying to make effort to not do that because I don't want to do it in front of my son, and then all of a sudden he's saying these words, right? But you're going to get the real me all the time. Not everybody views art that way, bro. So, not to say it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how a lot of people in the world approach their art. And it just is what it is, you know? So,
okay.
That's a good question, though, man.
Stream entertainment. Ruslan.